Hey, it's Joel here at SureTake to give you a quick walkthrough of how to set up SureTake with Calendly or perhaps another scheduler so you can schedule podcast interviews. First, you might be wondering, why don't we have an integrated schedule in SureTake? Well, I'll tell you, because my philosophy is, first of all, SureTake is meant to be a reliable recording tool. That's all it does. If we move our attention to something else and add more and more features, that takes reliability and focus away from the core feature, as many other platforms often do. And that's not what we're about. And speaking of other platforms, I'm not a fan of the whole trying to lock you into an ecosystem business strategy, okay, where they do everything an all-in-one and then you set it up and you can't leave because your whole life is in this one product. There's that. And then also a lot of us entrepreneurs or podcasters, we're already using some kind of scheduler as it is, whatever it is. Calendly is a very common one, so I talk about that a lot. Why would you want to go and then try to do your podcasts in another platform when you've already got these other platforms you're already using? So I digress. That's why we are not going to be integrating a scheduler into SureTake, but you can absolutely schedule your podcast interviews this way that I'm going to show you right now. So what you're going to first need is the podcast studio link that's shareable with your guests. So from your dashboard, go to whichever show it is that you're trying to set up. In this case, we just have the one. Hit the invited guest link, and we're going to copy this link right here. That's what we're going to need in Calendly. Okay, so here's my Calendly account. We're going to create a new event type. It's typically going to be one-on-one, but your situation may vary depending on what kind of podcast you've got. Let's just call this my podcast interview recording. Duration, obviously, you can set that to whatever you need. I usually like to set it to a bit longer than the actual interview is planned for because it's going to be a bit of before and after, and you don't want them to run out of time. Location is what really is important here. Going to hit all options and go custom and paste that studio link that we just copied from our SureTake podcast studio. And we can select this option here so that they only actually get the link after the booking confirmation. Availability, you can set this however you like. If you've already got Calendly or some kind of tool set up, you may have your calendar integrated and your hours already, the times that you're available. So you can go with that. Or some people like to customize with their podcasts. Like for instance, they might want to do them only on Wednesdays. They might want to stack a bunch of podcast interviews, get them all done at once, or a couple days a week, or 1 week out of the month. However it looks, you have this customization here. And from there, you do have the option to go in and do further customizations under the more options section. So, a little bit about your podcast would be cool. If you want to limit how many episodes you're doing in a given time period, you can do that. Customize the booking page, ask for questions. I love doing this. You can set up automations with this. So if you have a Google Sheet or an Airtable or something like that, have the guest fill out some things about themselves here, and it can auto-populate your spreadsheet. You don't want to make it too much work for them, but things like a bio, for example, maybe a photo, they can include that when they schedule their interview, and then you have all that data there for later, maybe for your assistant or for you to go check or for AI or for whatever you're doing. This is a really cool way to use the scheduler. Notifications are going to be important as well. You want to set up some good notifications to remind them when the interview is and prepare them for it. This is a sample email here that we can send to guests. It gives you a good idea of what you would want to include. Of course, the location is going to be there already from Calendly, the link that they need to join. You can customize your email however you want in Calendly. Some tips are good too about the technical stuff. There's a technical test page we have that they can visit ahead of time, and anything else that you want them to know about your podcast, maybe some topics you're going to discuss or a little background on the podcast. Anything at all. And then, as I said, additional notifications closer to the date, the same day, however you want to do it, you can do that all in Calendly. Once you're done there, go ahead and save your changes, and you will get this link, which we've now got. Once your guest has indicated they want to be on your show, that Calendly link right there for this event is what you're going to provide them. They're going to schedule, and they're going to show up in your SureTake studio on the date and time that you've both scheduled.